I just remembered that not having enough yellow makes you sour. But then I thought, wait, so you're telling me that God just does all the magical shit? Like, I mean, God puts blokes into women's clothes and puts the woman in the bloke's clothes, and the woman is the one that does the ordinary agenda, and the bloke's the one that receives the agenda, and then they swap back over. You're telling me God just does all that magical shit, doesn't he? Like, kids that are beaten when they're birthed. I mean, God watches before they're even here. And then they go up heaven. And God lives their life for them. You know, the beating that is. You know, the trauma and abuse. Whatever it might be, whatever condition it might be in. And then one day, they show up. And go, hi God, we're here to help. That's right, mate. I need someone to help me understand what I've been through. Bloody hell, God, you're a sacrifice yourself. Bloody hell. Yes, mate. More than anything, son, I need to know properly how it all actually engages with society. Oh, well, funny enough, I just went driving, did that job for the mate that I was meant to be doing, and then on the way back, I was thinking about it the whole time. Is that really true? And a song came on the radio. Doesn't change me, doesn't change you. All the things we do, maybe that song. Yeah. Don't change a thing, I do or you do. Don't change a thing to me. That song there. And I thought of Marty, and I thought of one of my ex-girlfriends or one of my ex-partners. His name's similar to me, and I thought maybe she was in the same boat as me. Because she had a bit of trauma in her young childhood, which I'm allowed to speak about a little bit. Yeah. Well, I can't really hide it. You know, because she could have been the same as me. Taken to heaven when she was birthed. And then maybe we've been celebrities on stage. God, that is my father. And maybe that's where heaven lives. And maybe not only that, we do a lot of special jobs. Yeah, mate, possible, mate, possible, mate. And so I think about it naturally. And maybe there's a big crew. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because thinking about the porn thing, if God became the girls and just took it for him, then what would happen afterwards? The girls just receive pay, or their debts are wiped. I thought it'd be more so that God would put the girls, but they wouldn't be girls, they'd be blokes who had done very bad work in life. Ah, so they're not even real girls, you're saying? No, God just does all that magical shit. You know, he takes care of two people at once. So you're saying you could be watching a porn video, and the girl's not a girl. It's really a bloke. And God's then the bloke. Yeah, that's what I would do if I was your God. That's what I would do. They're having a God campaign soon, or who do you want to be your elected state of affair? But if I was God, that's what I would do. You know, all the badasses out there, I'd turn them into the girls and become them themselves and put them in porn industry. Because look at Hugh Hefner, you know, at the mansion. All those girls there are probably from perverts, you know, perverts going, whoa, hey, you're sexy. You know, and then he makes the blokes that do that sort of stuff into the female bunnies, you know, because they want to be looked at sort of thing. Because whatever you do to other people, it's about yourself. So if I said to someone, you're a judging person, aren't you, mate? That means that I'm a judging person. Shit example, mate. Shit example. So that means when someone, whoa, sexy, They really want to be looked at themselves. And it's inappropriate behaviour as well. Especially at the grandstand, mate. So I look about it. Yeah, mate. I think we got a song for that one, mate. It's an emotional scale. It dives right into the tail. When you try to explain me, you'll say this man has no advocate. You'll try to seize all my belongings. You'll try to take all my wear. To the day I breathe it there. To the day I say it's fair. What would you make if you couldn't class yourself? One who can be safe at the day. When the work is due and the issue is made. When the fault is there and no one can take. Then what would you make if it's not a stalemate? What would you say if still that came fucking close, I'd say? 'Cause Jesus lives a long life. Yeah, Jesus can't rest and hide. Jesus lives a long life. Because you know it's always about the time that he died. That makes it special for everyone else. That's about the time that he died. Well, when he died, he ascended into heaven. Yeah. And because God then seen him, like he must have put his hand up and said, yeah, I know there's jobs out there. I'm poor bloke. Marvellous attention though. Perfect mathematical and zoning skills. And I know evil as well, brothers. He's probably talking to himself or the fish or something, you know? Probably still underwater back then. Like the eggs weren't even there yet for the fish to become, you know? And so he's probably talking to them. And something floated through like, what's that in my eye? And he seen the light and he died. Rose right up to hell. And in hell he said, oh, right, this bit better. Yeah, this bit better, some work to do here then, yeah? And some work must be there to do. And so he then said to himself, if I couldn't come clean, then what would I make myself? So what would he do but dive out of hell and straight to the frozen bottom of the water degree? That's when he realised that light that he read, he wrote it into a story that no one could really make. Because classing themselves, well, there was not many things around, I guess. So to Jesus, my mate, today, as I was driving home, I was speeding a little bit through the suburbs across a Mandurah Catholic College school. And I'm pretty sure it was a Sarah Maposi. Yep, one of my posse, mate, that's right. She was going like this out the front of the yard, like right near the curb. And I thought, oh shit, is that God telling me to slow down? And she was saved when she was birthed and went to heaven as well. And I'm not saying that she's never in her body. But I'm saying God would be the one. Unless she's got magical powers. But that's pretty crazy. Because what made me speed? Did she make me speed just so she could go, whoa, 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 whoa? Or was it God in me and in her? Because both of us would have been saved when we were children. And so, hi God, here to help. We thought one of us, or at least maybe a couple of us, would reveal from death and walk back into the shadow and help you out on your journey today. Because heaven is a far stretch. And yeah, we're not kidding. We lost most of our mantle with the psychosis degree and all the Farinamas. People were scripting over medicines, making up beliefs of systems. I mean, to the buildest, richest degree of what we'd fabricate. But still, I don't believe. I don't believe. Bloody hell. I thought you guys could see. So you're telling me someone at home couldn't believe? It's like saying, hey, have you seen that esky lid? I don't believe I know that Escalade, mate. And then the next minute someone goes, oh, this Escalade. Yeah, mate. Oh, bloody hell, I wouldn't believe it, mate. There it was. And if it wasn't there, then what was there? The belief of no idea where the lid was? Or the belief that no one can have an idea? But still, right. We probably all end up single people normally because it's just God. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. I don't know, most of us are pretty spiritual. Or believe in some sort of wizardry or witchery or spirituality or religions. And at the end of the day, well, Jesus is the one that walked through all my pain for me. You know, he's the one that took all that beating. Even though I said to him though, Jesus, give it back to me, it's not yours. They're my sins, Jesus. My sins. And he had an argument with me, or it got a bit sour with me. He didn't have enough yellow that day, I think, maybe. He said back to me, hey, that's what I do, mate. Don't you tell me not to take them, that's what I am. You know, now you can recover and be all better. I said, thanks, Jesus. But still, it was a great episode. Because what made Jesus want to do such a thing? So there he was, naked in the water. And he came up with the idea, I wish no one was blinded by this bloody sea. Next minute, geez, he got the job, you know. Built his heaven, built everything. Till the very day one said, let it be. And that was the day he believed himself to have shown himself what it was. Because when you're dead, well, you're dead. You know, like, you could be doing a job still. But you wouldn't know you're doing it. So maybe until one came and woke in him. And that's when he knew it true. That the boulder had just been rolling back from the cave door. And he's about to shoot it off. I'm impressed, mate. I'm loving this episode. Mostly because it asks us. That was it. But what was it? If it wasn't it, then what would it be? If no one can make your grandstand show up and shout, then what would we do if not a thing took you? If we're only there where one would be fair, then what's the day that it takes for one to make? If I've only lived a long life, then what would my journey see? If I've only been through the darkest times, then what would my journal be? If I couldn't believe, then what would I see? If I was only trying to show what one man believes, then would I walk in his shadow, or would I make a stand to say no man repeats unless it's the last plan? 'Cause I'm still not there where someone could say, ain't that just fair? But I'm still not there, 'cause no one could say, hey, ain't that boy just a crazy old bear? But ain't that there when they could say, wouldn't you be one to take over me? And I'd say, they're crazy, they're crazy, they're crazy. But hey, maybe that's still true. And Jesus, if you wish me to take over you, then I'm sure you'll say, yes, mate. Yes, mate. But Jesus, you already said to me that this is your ride for the day. And that's my Father speaking, Jesus. So don't you try to trick everyone, you bloody devil. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. Sometimes we forget the devil's here with us for as well, you know? Yes, Daddy. We know he's here, Daddy. Us four do, but no one else does. No, they all know that the four of you are there. And the Father said, didn't you say to me that this is your ride for the day, devil? That's right, it's my ride for the day. What's that mean? No, that's what he said. And what does that mean? Well, it means the sun's not in the vehicle all the time. Ah, right. Right. So I look at it like this. Say hi when it's not enough yellow. Can't even see, mate. Then yellow. Just so I can see him, mate. Now there's 7 languages. From royalty to blacksmith to mark bearing and angel or demon. Right. And the sun connects up to everyone, you know? Aye. And they still say that I'm not there. Because you do all that magical shit. If I was your god, I would, yeah. But hey, remember the devil will say that he's the one that acts in that way. but he's just the one in the right. The devil. And then the sun. In there. Doing that shit. The devil will test Jesus. You know? Yeah. And Jesus listens to the devil no matter what. On the first day the devil tested Jesus, he was sat in his office chair. Get up! Boom! Get down! Get up! Get down! For about 25 minutes, he was trying to write in his book, young Jesus was. And he got up, got down, got up, got down, got up, got down, got up, got down. And I mean it. After that, Jesus said, the devil realised, Jesus Christ, this one I can take all the way. You know, this one listens and obeys. Everyone else challenges, goes, don't tell me to do it. You know, that's how he knows it's Jesus. Everyone else fights back. But Jesus just makes a routine out of it. Because if Jesus didn't listen when he thought it was God, then Father God wouldn't know how to mediate the devil. And the devil would ruin sin and take over the Grand Castle. No, Travis, you're not that magical beast. What would the sun do then? God, there. God, there. God, there. God, there. God, there. Wouldn't that not be the sun? When all that we see up there in that pixel, you know, all the stars that shine, we only see them because there's a light on them. You know, we only see the blue sky because there's a light on it, you know. And we only see the night sky because there's a night light on it, you know. We only see the moon because there's a light on it. Without the sun being up there, we wouldn't even see half the stuff that we look at with telescopes at night time. Where it only appears that we can see it because the sun's on it. You could make your own jacking port. You know, the sun would still be on it. What's your own jacking port? Something out there billions of light years away. I mean, fathomable distances. Just come on the radar. I mean, a series of Wi-Fi link adapters. You know the Wi-Fi link adapters? Basically, this one here spins and rotates. Satellite onto. And this one you make a Wi-Fi adapter. Which links back to another satellite. And you jack into it. And you download anything up there. And make a space center. Which is basically where the cloud is stored. All the online gaming and stuff. Because we can make anything up there. Yeah, as long as light permits. And it works. Lately, my pickup truck manager and his outlay have just been handing me like this. And I open it up, and there's the nicest feather pedal in there, you know? And at the time, I was thinking about feather pedals. And bang, it's in there. I was like, how did they know? You know? I mean, my local drug vendor, they just hand me like this. And bang, I open it and there's something in there. They just know, because that's what I'm meant to be receiving, you know? They just tell me and I believe it and it's there. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. But it wouldn't be that hard to do, would it? Oh. Well, then I thought someone must order the routine. That's a lot crazy. They reckon we're up there then? If that's what they can do? They can tell me this is it, and then it is it. So what is the sun? Flower. Okay. So all things live in the sun? All creations? So wouldn't the sun be empowered to do such things? Now you can make the jacking porch, you know? New galaxy out there, they found it, 200 million solar systems, and I think there is. Or it's about this big in the photo, you know? 200 million galaxies, I think it is. You just have every one of the stars that they found as jacking imports, you know? Then you select on your phone. Yep, I'm buying that one there. Then the sun solar radiates in. Boom. You look at your phone screen, boom. Then you're in your own galaxy, you know? You become the mind function in your own galaxy. And you shape and build whatever you want there. Roll it back heaters, mate. Because the sun would be able to push anyone just straight out, wouldn't he? Of their bodies. Yeah, and just bring God in. Well, mate, I'm still saying, son, that's really what I get up to, son. And it's not me that does that. No, son. You got your grand ideas out there, son. You know, but you're just always in the office, my young lad. Ah, okay. So God does all that magical shit, and not really the sun? Right. But then I thought, were dinosaurs talking the word of God? Or was it only around when man came in to be disturbed? You know, man got a bit ill and that a little bit in the desert for too long and needed some help figuring out where he was from, you know? So if it wasn't back when the dinosaurs were here, then the sun must have been the one that provided the nutrients to the dinosaurs, you know, the greenery, the plants and the herbs. And also that dinosaurs must have had it right. That asteroids burnt up when they were coming in. That means science didn't even need to test that. No, you know. All I know is, God, that someone is here with me. And you make out like it's everyone else other than it is you. Oh, that's the devil doing that to you, my son. I don't know if that's true. You lead me, no, that's just the devil playing with you, mate. Then why is that a different voice? That's what I mean. You two confuse the shit out of me, so I must be the boss. Between the three of you, you locked me down tight. Then I swear everyone else is playing. Like even that cerebral posse lady. She's in my posse lady. Even her. That could have just been used free. What? Tricking me. And just putting someone out the front there and there was no one even standing there. Because God does all that magical shit. Yeah. To say, hold on, son, have you got that right? What about them? That'd be the same for them, wouldn't it? They'd be born in heaven. Well, they are bossy. Maybe, mate. You just trying to relax everyone who goes through that stuff, mate, or are you being serious about this? I was saying mostly thanks to Jesus for birthing me into heaven and taking most of my life for me and awakening me later on after all the damage was done to give me straight into adultship. To where he says I'll be best fitted based upon the skills that I've got in the past. Right, so some kids awaken later. Yeah, but when we get here, we get all the memories still, Yeah, and then we don't understand fully what it is. Yeah, shit. And because, basically just the feeling is left of our experiences that we went through when we were children. So we don't get the pain, the suffering, and the struggle, but just the feeling. Then that makes people crazy like me who go, oh shit, yeah, God must do that, must turn bloody bad blokes into naughty chicks. And then, yeah. Now some chicks don't feel so bad when they watch a porno and their bloody ex-boyfriend's in there. Yeah, that's God in their ex-boyfriend. And God in your ex-boyfriend as well. Well, God's into your ex-boyfriend. God's in. Oh, shit. So I thought about it either way. Sometimes we debate, other days we choose to be late. But when we hold so much faith, then what do we say? If we can't ever struggle, because we're not just here, mates. We're as far away as you could say. Till the day one awakens you and says, look, son, you were having a hard day, so I came in for the first part. The second part, you have to take over the car and live a more just life. Shit. That's why we remember Jesus Christ. Because we lived the day with him. Oh, shit. It's good to see Travi doing good again, But he was never really doing good, was he? Yeah. So I wonder what happens afterwards. All those ones that had a rough first day. Rough half a day. Yeah, what does God do after he's gone from their bodies? For the 90, 91, 99, 90 groups. Or is that where the son fits in and says, well, yeah, God, I heard you need a bit of help. And then Tony became the son. Yeah. And Travi became the one. The devil. Yeah. So my father went up and took the seat. I came down to grab my bunch. That's the only way I fathom it anyway. Surely those ones responsible for my rough half day. Say they can't always make it as close or as sharp as they want to, but still they make it better than one can say, I'm not there where I was today, but still over there, well, wasn't ever clear, but here it's more clear. So if I was to go back over there and engage with some of those groups, then things would be not so clear. Whereas if I stay over this side of the mafia, where things are a lot more clear, then I can still engage with those groups from over there and be not weird. But still, maybe there's a lot of celebrities on the stage, and that isn't there. I think maybe we're just all one. It's just all Jesus. Well, heaven, they don't say how big it was. It can fit many, but it's just one, No plus ones, But obviously, yeah. Maybe God needed help here to redecide where he's leaving and where he's leading and also where he's hitting and where he's mating. And still they offer not the chance for one to apply themselves. So look at that. God, who ran most of my day, and I was already saved and in heaven, came in and said, Hi, God, here to help. One of the first things I ever spoke were the words, Hi, God, here to help. Just to let God know who was in my shoes. That the only time you take over someone's lace is the day you've worked ahead for what it means to be fitted without their shoes. And that means without your shoes, how could you wear someone else's? So when you take on someone else's shoe, you're always going to bring with you your imprint and the shoe that matches what you are. Whereas if you leave your lace behind and you slip your shoe over their shoe and then tie their lace back through yours, you'd actually become the feeling of that person and be able to adapt to what they are. That's why a man wearing clever socks is well more impressed. But that's not how it goes with Jesus. You don't slip into him for a socket degree. You actually slip over them. Like a mother holds inside her womb. And then you take the beating for him. Yeah, so that's hard to say. When some people are in me, but then one is over me. Where am I? Holy Spirit before man. And still I'm not sure. So I say the Holy Spirit would do such a thing, wouldn't she? Who could it be now? So glad I had a chance to see her once again. Da 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 da. Not over our way, the Indigenous say. I don't know that. All I know is that they live off the land. Off the land. You know, they lived off the land. What would land be? Pig Latin. Is that what it really is? Yeah. So Pig Latin stresses out on what factor? The Big Latin. I don't know, I've never talked to them about it. What I have talked to them about, they gave me their understanding and meaning. Yep. So if the Holy Spirit wasn't here in this land, then how could that still work? Why would the sun birth over here? And the sun's the Holy Spirit. Well, I was going to screen share. Oh, actually, I still can, actually. Sorry, 2 seconds. Not working right now, so I can't. But last night I was looking through the trees and the moon was in front of this tree, a tree about this big, and the moon was about there. When I was looking on this side, you can see the entire universe, you know, flickering at stars through the tree. Yeah. And I thought, what place am I to state what religion is? If I'm only here in this land base, and there's another tree which relates to the Indigenous tribes' culture, which is what their traditions were, their understandings were, and also what they made and lived within, lived within, for their creations and aspects. Then I come over from where I'm from, and my traditions remain when I arrive here. For example, yes. That means on this continent, there had to be a tree with my traditions already saved in it. Otherwise, the Indigenous cultures and what they made would be shining the whole way over here. Halfway across, like in the international sea border, if that's what they had. If that's what they had, yeah. But I don't think we even had international sea borders back then so much. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't even arrive into the place of Indonesia, so to speak. Indonesia, so to speak. Allowed. You know, without that being. So therefore I would have followed my moon and stars all the way over. Got here and never even seen them. Because they'd be living in a tree with their cultures. But because my tree was already here, and their tree is already here, like everyone's personal mindset, you can have your own belief system and be a tree by yourself. Yep. And then lead people into your tree, and that's where they then live in a house. And everyone else within all the other trees. Yep. One could live down between and not have any belief or culture or tradition, and walk from one to one, and allow them to bring him in so much, and then say, wait, wouldn't that be the land? Well, I don't know. I've never asked them what the land was. Wait. So you're saying they had no beliefs, culture, or tradition? Or maybe they're still connected to it. What everyone else left. Possibly. But maybe not so much when they're young. So you're saying you have to leave everything you've understood and been taught to fall out of the heads of the trees and land at the base, where you're then one with the very breath. But no one survives that fall, you know. Maybe not these days, maybe a few people do. A few people might do. But on your way down, like people say, yeah, that's not it. And you change your mind straight away. That's knowledge. That's knowledge. That's not it. That's got it. That's got it. Yeah. Dad's got it. Yeah. So where does the sun then fit into that place? Well, we'd have no answer for what the sun does. All we know is there is. Maybe like the Lord who originally spoke. He was in that area between the trees and just spoke. And everyone witnessed it. Then they made up their ideas. No, they would have known what he was saying. So where did that start? The bloke went the wrong way and kept going, eh? That's got it. It's got that. It's told that. That's got it. It's told that. Or it's told hard. Es war told. Nicola Nart, I think it was. Nicola Nart. Oh. But still, if it wasn't made, then what would we say? Well, that's where I choose to fascinate on it. Because leading everyone now from my show to the plane, I believe we call it, well, it's going to save up all that tree space. Then we can make up a whole new world and walk back into those trees. Undermined, it's back equal. It's back equal. Undermined. But still, it's not late to say. So our religion's the same, you're saying? Well, if the name was the Lord for that place, yeah, then wouldn't it be spoken everywhere the same? No words change, What, given to space day? Or no words are? Space identifier? So when words change, we progress, or do we hold blame? In situ? Yeah. You guys want Hugh out from here? Because I'm much better. And all that rest of crew? Because tell me right now, I'll pull their links. Oh, shit. You know, the fastest jogger is not seen till the end of the race. Yes, mate. Yes, mate. And we've skipped. You might cover a bit of distance, but there's always spread. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. You'll get clean robbed, mate. You'll get clean robbed. No, I think they're playing. I think they're playing. No, no, no. They have to be now after living down that area. Maybe that's how the Lord takes care of us. So would the Lord want you defeating a brother? We might not have both made the exact same, but still we relay the same. You can see through your eye, I guess. I can see just clear. So what made it change over there? Famine, natural disease and disorders. And what made it change here? We know what happened here. Well, there you go. So still. So you let me out. Since I was birthed, I've been in prison. And at about this age, they release you. It is Australian continent. Maybe. Because one of those trees, all they have to do is make a boy believe in prison. And then bang, they built all these trees, you know. Yeah. Then they can walk into any one of the trees at any time. You know, when you're living downstairs. You know, it's just climbing that ladder. Ain't that true, Indigenous folk? Well, first we needed the boy. The boy that could be beat. You know, not one that held his his grandparents' order. One that was out of way. You know, one that stray. We needed a stray one, yes, we needed a stray one. So we can pack on the beliefs and disorders. Build up all the beliefs. Different ones, different trees. Then the multi-story deck. And then slowly assign people to which one they reckon they should fit into. Then boom, God slides them in, and that's where they live. The fear blanket. Dad's got a lift. I had. Dad's the last living olive. What does that mean? Well, once races become integrated, then they'll be the last living ones of each society. The last olive, Indonesian, whatever they assign to in their own way. Yeah. He walked out of mysterious artifacts. Grew strength out of beating light, dripping down from sight bearing. That's right. So I came from an olive founder. Over this side of the world, they came from what their founder would have been. Yeah. Once all species are integrated, then the last ones will live. Kick the daddy. Kick the daddy. Kick the daddy. Kick the daddy. Oh shit. I think Mark's got an injury. We're going to wait for the ambulance. Oh wait, there is none. Damn. Wait. Aren't you a doc, son? Apparently no one's got injuries out here. Why? Because of Jesus. I've never understood what I have to be one who can share, know and name that takes place where always I have to be. 'Cause I'm only there where you have seen me, and I take it always clearly, but my name isn't there. Oh, that's Jesus. Ah, he walks us in. Jesus must walk us in. And then what, at this age, you'll bloody go, what? I just got here. And that was old Jesus, my childhood. I don't really understand it. I'm not too sure how to say it. I'm just there. Oh. Oh. And then you share a day ahead with him. Well, I can't go anywhere. I'm just there. Because he's alive. I always had to be knowing of one day before myself was there. And that day before was our day being here, which was our day before us being here. Oh. Before he himself could be there or here. So if it's true that we all came from the same place, you know what I mean, before the trees were resurrected and built, before the trees were erected, then it wouldn't matter what life called itself here, there, or anywhere, it'd be the same, wouldn't it? It'd be the same life, wouldn't it? Unless there was a part of it. Oh, great, you can create your own. You can make up what you want to. You know, fantasy, stories, and all that gossip stuff. Ah, prevailing covers on now, son. Now you're hidden, son. Now you're hidden, son. Now you're hidden, son. Now you're hidden. Now you're hitting, son. And I wouldn't believe it. Because still, it's not there. Where? There. Here. If it's not there, then where would it be? I haven't looked for it. Because I don't need to know the answer. No one needs to know the answer more than the sun. You're my son. It's like when the Indigenous got superpowers after what happened here. Maybe the sun's shoes a bit fitter after what happened over there. So I thought we'd fit our shoes together and beach what's going on over here and over there. Oh. But I probably should have stopped posting on Facebook before they heard from over there. Now they're all here and there. Now they're all here, aren't they? Now they're everywhere. Bloody pains. So now everyone's here. You know, everyone's clear. Because you can't really make a mistake as a young child, you know. It's only after a certain age. Well, then it's up to you to adapt. But sins are forgotten. If it's not knowing. Still, we don't say it. If we've never been it, then we could never really adapt to anything other than what we've said. Now look what some people make. They use technology, didn't they? That's right. That'd be cheating a little bit, wouldn't it? while others integrated with their technology and moved something even better than the culture fit at the end of the story. And not only that, some anointed themselves with clear for the passage to be built. I still didn't see what it was. But no one drank. Because they weren't there yet. They couldn't be there. Now, what if they're there? Well, we made a saviour who would watch our conception, our conceiving. Yeah. What, he watched your whole birth before you even arrived? Yeah, then he walked in instead of us if he had to. Huh. The old father. Huh. What? Well, we're in the storyboard at the moment. Soon it'll all be over and all those creations will come to an end. And we'll return to the bottom of the pit. And we'll learn new words. You know, it'll no longer be called God, Jesus, the Lamb, and the Lord, and all that. And we'll advance in culture. Huh. Because that's what this series was about, what everyone made. Basically just to build technology. Because it adapted to technological sciences. Once they found in Australia that they had a psychic phone, they went, oh shit, but the bloody wires and bloody, is it wireless, it's just through the wind, is it? Then they finally got to wind transmitters, you know, Wind FM. Wind FM. Yep. But I was right there from the cup on the string, you know. Hey Glenn, can you hear me? Oh, sorry. Hey Glenn, can you hear me? He had it right over his mouth. Glenn. Then he put a hole in it, you know. Glenn, can you hear me? And I went, ew. Glenn, can you hear me? That goes straight past him. That's when they put 2 strings on it. And it worked, you know. Because it was already there, that Glenn could hear him. So the bloke said, oh, yep, when I look through it, I can see Glenn. It must be a direct line. And they built the bloody phone technology, you know. But still. Right. This fella is rather gathered. He is rather gathered. He is. 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 He is everything. You got a long sight, radar. Like, here's everything. You know? You can make it bang. Then he hears what you're talking about till that bang's died out. Or he cuts it off. I wonder sometimes if he's talking what the birds chirp. Well, maybe that's where we're going. Oh, yeah. Um, when I was the old father, at about, I don't know, 12 years old, 13 years old maybe, one day all mathematics, scientific theories, theologies, religions, sciences and spiritualities were all tied together, and philosophies as well, I said, I think. Albert Einstein said a similar thing, but I don't know if they just made that up to call me Albert Einstein, like the naked genius, you know? Then they made up Albert Einstein's riddle and who owns the fish. The Blue House, I think it is. Suicidal. Those clues, yes, you got that correct. But then I ended up starting to do that. But no one sort of seen what it was meaning. Because, yeah, I had 299 IQ. And they didn't really, my parents, that is, didn't really, or my nonna and that mostly, didn't want anyone knowing or me to get special treatment. So in the end, I just used my brains to profile this subject. Hope you find it useful, or at least usey. So it'd be pretty easy for those indigenous cultures, if it's actually them, to just climb up a ladder of someone who's birthed into religion at about 5 years old. Climb up that ladder, find the actual person, and then use their hand to touch another boy's penis. Climb up the ladder, find that person. You're my son. You know, yep. So that's why I said I want Marty out of my building. Because they only get in once I tell them my new beliefs. You know, because they get kicked out every day. Once I tell them my new beliefs, then they're straight back in. That's when I couldn't sleep. And I was going dead right. So they climb into a naked chick's beliefs, make her prude and proud, and then sexually assault her pretty much and be back in their own boots. So one of their mates walks them in, you know. That's basically what they do to all of us and try to shape us. But they're not gods. They're just someone that overtook a monastery's understanding, a ministry's understanding, after they probably brought themselves in there. Because they bought a priest or something or done something in that culture and stole their knowledge. Wouldn't it be the other way if they were man? They'd walk ladies away from that scene. They'd walk boys away from taking drugs when they know it's not good for anyone. They'd walk into attics and just not pick up the beer. They wouldn't walk in and go, buy. Then lead you to have nothing, then, oh, shop. Then take you down at shopping to steal, and basically you're stealing for their own crew. Because that's how they get their loot. You know, they're employed by the crew that runs that scene. And they get us to go to the shops. So just we give them the good shops, you know. Yeah. Hopefully in the end they want us to be kidnapped and stolen and put into prison. Because that's when they just get on to the next member, you know. But look at one of their best friends. Old Ty. That was them who got him done every time. I think they were planning the same for me, but I was a different category and they took me to the mental asylum instead. Then they're going to try and get me locked up forever in the mental asylum. Once I pleaded innocent guilty at a court hearing for all the robberies I'd been doing. And I was going to say, well, I've got voices in my head that are making me do it. But I know it's not the voices. I know it's someone psychic or someone that's a monk. You know, like a bad Buddha or a bad monk. Who gets their free chips, you know, from the dealers. When they lead me to the shops and do the shop and then get me through, you know. Like, oh, no, you'd be locked up forever then. You could be doing anything. Yeah, well, that's what I meant. That's how I was going to prove it. And I've got all the evidence there to state, like, if the judge heard me out, it'd be a bit mind blowing and brain busting. But it'll clearly show, like, I've got them pinned. It wasn't me that did it. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. But still, even that was a creation. Monks as poor people. Brothers, we got no food. Yeah. I wish there was some way we could just walk over there and be in their boots and feed with them and then come back to where we are and sleep. Because we don't really like working. You know, we just want to rest all the time and read. So, Jesus, is there any money for us? Jesus, that's my father. All you want to indulge in that way. Who aren't even really Jesus. No, they just pretend that they're Jesus. You know, because they got that knowledge of how to do such move. You know, the socket degree. What a weird old world. What a weird old world. What a weird old world. Judges still permit the allowance of such a thing. Yeah, well, now the judges might think about it. Why do some blokes just keep walking back in and I don't just put them in handcuffs the day before? Is that because there's someone in them as well? Oh, let him go, he's doing alright out there at the moment. Till they really annoy the street. Then they'll say, nah, lock him up this time. Yep, and then the judge will lock him up. Now the son could lock all them up. If you choose he to be your God. You know, so weren't you yourself yesterday, honey, you know? What do you mean, love? You weren't being yourself. No, I swear you were a bit different. I don't know what it was. Ah, what do you mean? I'm the same today, aren't I? No, you're not. Neither are you. You know, you're back to normal. No, 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 no. You know, sometimes you wreck. Yeah. Is it even us living our own lives? Yeah. With mental disorder. We have to annihilate. Or is that old Jesus? Until he gets to 35 and Jesus has showed you the way. Otherwise, what are some men doing? That's where God comes in and says some kids get another step. They go back to 13. With the great teachers for everyone else in the area, you know? In the school zone. Yeah, there'll be great influences back at school. Oh, shit. Because it's about when they come out, you know? Jesus is here till 32. Then bang, the person arrives. And he sees what they're going to fit based on what they speak. Before that, they're pretty shy and quiet. Yeah, I guess so, but always intelligent. You know, always spoke the absolute truth. What Jesus did, the old father did, yeah. When everyone asked a question, boom, truth. What do you think, Travis? Well, yeah, space is an intellectual design that's escaped in the mainstream, and it becomes evident when we look at it with a lens. But if we weren't focusing on it as clearly what we can within our mind, then what would appear in the lens without our doubt not being? And as we focus on it more clearly, yep, cool, Travis, cool. Is that how he used to talk? Oh, Jesus would talk pretty similar to that, but the boys would never hear him out. They just thought it's too far. But other times he might tell stories. Yeah, he might have told stories. But was it a story? Because they already knew. Yeah, oh shit. Oh, I don't have it right now, man. I'll have it in a couple of days or something, you know. Oh, this went on, I can't be there right now. But really, well, he couldn't tell the truth. Because it was concerning something else. But if it was someone older, he'd always tell the truth. Maybe. Maybe. Shit. That was him, wasn't it? It was him, wasn't it? Thanks, Jesus, for living my life for me. Now, still, I'm assured I'd walk in the same way that you find me, looking at that place, holding no one for blame, just because I wasn't there to make those days simply come about as free from all that stress that was there, the pain that was made, the suffering built to take. All the way that we could debate, we were still challenging made. Then we came about and we seen what it was, our surface temperature, and we knew where we hit. We struck like a gold claw. We seen it out the back of the door. Just because we weren't here doesn't mean we count. Just because we're not there, then what do we sound? If we're not here, then what do we make? If we're only here, then what do we bait? And still, I remember I'm not got today. You know, I'm one challenged son. That gets his knowledge from the same bloke that those socket degrees got their knowledge. The same bloke that the indigenous culture got their knowledge. The same bloke that we all got our knowledge from. Who built a story mode And that's soon to wind up. That all those creations that we made during that series will no longer be built. And we'll move on to the next day. That's what I fabricated late in my change anyway. But if that's what I made and that's what he spoke for me to say, then shit, I guess that's what it is that I preach. Because if that's my truth, then they'll eradicate the rest of our truths. And there'll be a new day that no one knows about, because that must be where it is. But still, the truths, well, they're hard to build. Obliging act. Still stressed out much. I don't face it and I don't take it. I don't make it because I can't debate it. I'm still faced with what it is. Are you? What? The father would come before the grandfather, wouldn't he? Otherwise, those who made up, that's me mum, that's me brother, that's me cousins, they live over there, that's me next door neighbour, that's the one I want to make and get danced with tonight. There's the ones over there, well, I know they're different to us, we just leave them over there, but they walk around still and come over here, but we don't really integrate with them, we're not too sure. But then there's us ones up there, the us ones up there, we ask them all the time, what we do today? But they don't really return the message. You know, they just shower us. And we go, thanks for the rain. And then some days there's no rain. And we go, today then what do we do? And we go looking for it because we see a cloud in the sky and we walk over there, but there's no rain. But some days we find stuff there and it's useful back there. But those ones back there don't really like that stuff. They don't really say it's useful. Other days of the week, they say it's not there. And they still say it wouldn't be anywhere if it's not there. But some days we wear what we are. And that's when one said, what's the jacket then for? And I said, well, I wouldn't say what it means. But still I'm not there. Because it's not a story now, is it? What we all got up to. And that part's not a story, but Yep. Thanks, Jesus. I knew you'd show them. I knew you would. I'm still glad to help you, Father God, on this job. I know I was in heaven most of my life, and these days it's getting stressful down here, because with the satellites they broke into jail. And up there in jail it was great. Make it rain here and there. We all got together in the morning and judged everything. You know, they had too much corn last year. No rain to the cornfield. But still we outdate ourselves when we look at it the same. But some people don't promise us much. Unless we're looking at it, then we don't find it. Oh, shit. That's all you need with a jacket import, wouldn't you? Well, and you're saying you designed that there out deep space. Yeah, you get your telescope in. Oh, yeah, we found them. And then you lock onto one by one with your smart telescope, which sends a signal to them on a satellite, you know. So if one satellite pointing straight towards them, you locate them on the Hubble telescope, and the satellite zones into that spot. Then it links up to each one individually, you know. Then you get your phone and bloody connect to the satellite, and then boom, 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 boom. You got your own field out there. The reverse jacking, what you're saying. Maybe. Good news, mate. We're okay. We're okay. Daddy. That's a blossom, Daddy. That is a blossom. Is it really? I'd say that's someone who's still waking up.